so much conflicting and contradictory information out there about what's really good for us to eat to be healthy or for women's health, and especially for women's longevity and for graceful aging. And I think at this point, we can all agree that whole, unrefined foods are best, but that still leaves us with a ton of options that may or may not be serving us and helping us meet our graceful aging goals. So today, I'm gonna share the top 5 healthy foods you should either eliminate or eat less of or eat differently for longevity as a woman. Before we jump in, I'm Kelsey Ale. I'm a certified functional nutritionist. I'm a restorative wellness practitioner, and I'm the founder of Audrey. We're a collective that helps women in their 30s and 40s learn how to age well and love doing it. So if that sounds interesting or relevant to you, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel and remember to hit the bell to be notified when we post a new video. All right, so I am not a huge fan of saying any one food or another is off limits because I personally don't think that dogmatic and restrictive approaches to nutrition are helpful. And in fact, I think they can actually end up being really incredibly stressful and cause problems. So today, when we're talking about foods to eliminate or reduce, I'll offer some suggestions for what to do differently, but we'll also talk about why these foods are possibly a problem in the first place. So the first food we're gonna start with is white rice. Fun fact, originally white rice was so hard to produce, like it was so challenging to get the little tiny bran hulls off the rice grains with the limited technology that existed at the time. It was so laborious to produce that most people didn't eat it, and eating it was actually reserved for the wealthy and the ultra wealthy. This was obviously many centuries ago. And as technology improved, it allowed this delicacy to become available in much larger amounts and to the general public, which isn't ending up to be such a great thing because white rice can send your blood sugar through the roof. And like we talk about in some of our other videos, blood sugar stabilization is one of the key primary factors in slowing down the aging process in your body. So if you're eating white rice on a regular basis, you're likely just causing not only a bunch of sugar spikes and crashes, which can make you feel exhausted and foggy-headed and even anxious or lethargic, but these spikes can also increase systemic inflammation throughout your body, which in turn increases your risk of developing some of the common diseases of aging like diabetes and cardiovascular disease and even dementia. So instead of choosing white rice, choose moderate portions of brown rice. Keep in mind that half a cup of cooked rice is a serving size. So again, this isn't about carbs making you fat or me wanting you to be miserable. I'm actually a nice person. But if we look at this from a longevity and therefore from a blood sugar perspective, you're going to want to moderate your intake of even brown rice and always pair it with protein and fats. Next up, we have oats. Similarly to rice, even rolled oats that aren't the quick cooking kind, they can still spike your blood sugar when you're not pairing them with protein and fats or eating protein and fats before you eat your serving of oatmeal. And it has so much to do with how reactive your body is to these starches. But as women, and especially as women in our 30s and 40s, we need to start paying closer attention to the things we used to be able to get away with, so to speak, and reconsider how they might be affecting our health now. So for example, you may have been able to eat a ton of starches and have a starchy breakfast, which is what oatmeal is, and not notice a huge reaction. But as our hormones start shifting as we move towards perimenopause, which we all are, if we are in this age range of mid to late 30s and 40s, our hormones are starting to shift. But this is impacting how our body responds to sugars and starches, and it can mean that we're now experiencing bigger reactions to starchy foods that we used to eat all the time, seemingly without having any sort of problem. So when it comes to oats, I think that moderate portions of steel-cut oats are a really good option for most women, but again, keep in mind the serving size for steel-cut oats is 1/4 cup of uncooked oat groats. So stick with that and pair them with fats and with plenty of protein. And don't be fooled by the breakfast campaigns that used to tell you you needed to get all of your daily fiber in your breakfast bowl, because while fiber is vitally important to our health and to aging, by adding in plenty of green vegetables and other fiber-containing foods throughout the day, you're getting all the fiber you need without spiking your blood sugar. So oats and similar cereal grains are not the only sources of fiber on earth, and you'd actually do better to load up on a wider variety of fiber anyway to get the best results for gut health and for overall health. So go ahead and limit or eliminate your oatmeal intake. Now, bananas. I used to avoid bananas when I was going through my low carb, fear of carbs phase in the earlier 2000s. But once I eased out of that, I actually started including them in my smoothies on a regular basis, probably 3 to 4 times a week after workouts. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And again, we're not demonizing any particular food, but I will tell you that when I recently put in a continuous blood glucose monitor and started to look at the data on how the food I was eating every day was impacting my blood sugar, I was honestly shocked to see how much even half of a ripe banana skyrocketed my blood sugar levels. And I was normally using a full banana in my smoothies, but during the test I did with my CGM on, I only had half a banana on hand, and even that had a huge impact. And I was actually doing all the things I've said up until this point. I was pairing it in my smoothie with fats from almonds. I was adding protein powder to balance some protein in there to try to balance out all the sugar. So to see it cause that kind of spike, it really brought home how much sugar is in modern bananas. And when I say modern, I mean the bananas that we humans have selectively cultivated to become what we now know and see and recognize in the grocery store. I don't know if you knew this, but wild bananas were and are small. And they're full of seeds, and they're not even particularly sweet. In fact, it's thought that early on, we didn't even try to eat the bananas themselves. We would actually just eat the roots of the banana tree and not even the fruit. So bananas have evolved thanks to us and our help, and they've come a long way. And while they taste way better now, I can imagine, and are much easier to get a hold of, that doesn't mean they've become better for you. So I would say generally skip bananas or use them as an accent fruit, and instead focus on lower glycemic fruits like small green apples and berries, and always pair them with some fats to help balance out the sugar. Underripe modern bananas may be a better choice because they do naturally have less sugar and lots of great fiber, but the sugar in them hasn't quite formed yet. But they also just taste really weird and chalky and make my teeth feel weird, so you might just want to move on, choose different fruits altogether. Now I'm gonna go after a health food sweetheart and tell you to eliminate or reduce your intake of grass-fed beef. Yes, even grass-fed beef can be no bueno, but it's probably not for the reasons you think or that you've been told. Studies have actually shown that incorporating animal protein into your diet can be awesome for you if you're adding in resistance training and practicing other healthy lifestyle habits. Animal protein can be great, but as women, and for everyone, but women in particular, as we start to get older and our periods become irregular and stop, we need to begin to watch out for iron overload. Now, I didn't realize this until recently, but elevated iron levels in postmenopausal women can become such a problem that some doctors actually recommend menopausal women donate blood on a regular basis to help manage their high iron levels. Studies are showing that high iron levels can actually lead to cellular oxidation in the organs, which leads to accelerated breakdown of our tissues. And in some cases, it can even cause accelerated brain aging, which I know a lot of us women who are concerned about aging well are looking for ways to avoid mental incapacity and looking for ways to stay sharp. And this is one great way. So trade out your grass-fed beef for sustainably caught seafood or white meat like chicken breast or turkey breast instead. And of course, when you do eat red meat, still make sure to choose grass-fed and high quality and sustainably raised meat. And if you're not sure if you need to watch out for red meat and iron overload just yet, you can always go get your iron levels tested just to be sure. Last, we should all be avoiding seed oils like grapeseed oil, cottonseed oil, rapeseed oil, canola oil. All of these oils are super refined, and therefore any beneficial compounds that were possibly once in them have all been processed to oblivion. These oils are incredibly pro-inflammatory, and if we're looking to reduce inflammation, because remember, inflammation is a major driver of the diseases of aging, we need to eliminate these oils from our diet. And this includes margarine too. I don't know if any of you still eat margarine, but some people are still eating it out there, and it shouldn't be you. Also, double check the ingredients of your vegan butter substitutes as well. Just use olive oil to cook with instead, and then finish your food with a little bit of grass-fed butter if you do need some buttery flavor goodness. So to sum it up, these are the 5 foods that I think you would benefit from reducing or eliminating altogether. And remember, it's not about demonizing foods, It's all about balancing blood sugar and reducing inflammation to help you age better, especially if you're looking into aging well. If you're a woman in your 30s and 40s and you're looking for ways to slow down aging and transition through menopause more smoothly, these are things you need to start to pay attention to now. Make these changes now so you don't have to worry about undoing the damage later in life. Don't forget to check out the description below for more resources, including our daily habits calendar, where you can join us on the journey to build the right habits for better aging. We also have our Better Aging Basics course you can look into. If you found this information helpful and you want to learn more about supporting your overall health and the right habits for aging well, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post new videos. Also, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, give us a like on this video. It helps our channel out a lot. Go ahead and check out these videos next for more tips on aging well as a woman. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me today. Remember, hydrate and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.